Hey, Nora.
Nope. This. Corvin, why are you at my house?
Well, your last text was kind of, you know, so I wanted to come make sure you weren't mad.
You didn't have to come all the way over here, though.
Oh, it's not far.
I meant that you could have called or texted.
I had a sneaking suspicion that you wouldn't answer.
I couldn't really say he was wrong there.
You're not really mad at me, are you?
No. Just sending weird texts like that when you knew Allie was here.
So it's fine to send them when she's not here.
No! That's not... I don't... Ugh! He was so frustrating, and that little smirk he had on his face with his big, luscious lips. I was definitely going to strangle him. Darn it. Do you want to come in? I was a little dubious about letting Corvin inside my house, but he was already here anyway, I guess. I stepped back to make room for him to step inside the foyer.
Nora, who was it? Oh, who is this young man? Didn't I see you last week, too?
I gave her a death glare. If she called him cute, I was kicking them both outside. Mom's just trying to help. Ugh. Mom, this is a friend from school, Corvin. He slipped inside and immediately took my mom's hand.
Enchanté, madame. I can see where Nora gets her looks from. It's lovely to meet you, Mrs. Lewis.
Wow. Real smooth. Nice. Very nice. Mom looked way too amused at that remark. Stop flirting with my mom.
Would you rather me flirt with you instead?
Oh my god.
Corvin, was it?
Don't look at me like that.
Are you also in that paranormal society club? The Paranormal Mysteries Club. I am. I'm the president, actually.
You are?
Oh, didn't we tell you?
No.
Oh dear, what's happened to your face? It's a bit swollen. Nora didn't hit you, did she?
Really, Mom?
Well, I sort of punched myself, actually. By accident.
Oh yeah, because I definitely thought you did it on purpose. Don't automatically assume I just randomly hit people.
You have hit me before, though. Nora, really?
I was actually just taking you to the kitchen for an ice pack. I grabbed Corvin's hand and started dragging him to the kitchen and away from my mom.
It was nice to meet you.
I tried to ignore the fact that it looked like Mom was laughing as I dragged him away.
I don't think I need an ice pack.
I know that. I just wanted to get you away from my mom before the two of you could embarrass me further.
You're embarrassed by me.
That's not what I said. I pulled Corvin toward one of the stools. Allie was visible just outside the kitchen window. She looked like she was just casually leaning against the porch, but I could see her mouth moving slightly.
Oh, it's Allie.
Sit down. I still don't know what happened next. Corvin's feet managed to tangle themselves between mine as I pushed him toward the chair. Excellent. He went down and grabbed me in an apparent attempt to steady himself, so I went down with him. I only just managed to miss hitting my head on the table as we fell. Corvin pulled me against his body, dragging me down on top of him as if he was going to offer some kind of cushioning. So gallant. Except that I managed to faceplant right into his chin. And there's not a whole lot of cushioning on the chin. Amazing. I let out a strangled cry, tears springing to my eyes as I gripped my poor nose in agony. Corvin was completely still beneath me. I assumed he'd had the wind knocked out of him. I lifted my head to squint down at him, gently making sure my poor nose wasn't broken. Excellent. Oh good, I'm so happy this is a CG. I was really hoping.
You okay?
I don't know. You?
I am, I think.
His voice had a strange catch to it. I looked down at him curiously. So close. Too close. I could smell his cologne, his shampoo. I could see the little yellowish striations in his eyes. He really had the most amazing eyes. I suddenly forgot the pain as I stared down at him. Okay, I didn't completely forget. My nose was throbbing in angry protest at the sudden introduction to his titanium chin. His head is so hard, apparently. Goodness gracious. But the fact that we had really managed to fall in this exact position was a bit distracting, for sure. Only with Corvin. I swallowed nervously. I really needed to move. Oh. Corvin reached up to touch my face, and any thoughts of moving flew out of my head. I froze. What? What?
Your nose is red.
Because I hit it on your stupid chin. How are you not in pain? Corvin's fingers were caressing my cheek, causing me to flush bright red.
Did you?
I lowered my eyes, unable to look at him anymore. Stop that!
Stop what?
He was teasing me again. He always teased me.
Nora.
Yeah? Oh god, I should move. We were sprawled on my kitchen floor. Anyone could walk in and see us. The feeling of something wet and the sudden coppery scent of blood immediately brought me back to my senses. Well, what are you two doing? And, of course, Allie had to walk in. I scrambled off Corvin, slapping a hand to my nose. Hit my nose! Nose! I hit my nose! Ice pack! I fled upstairs to crawl into a hole and die. Forever. I don't think you're gonna find an ice pack up there. Yep, Allie called it out. She's getting an ice pack from her room.
Maybe she has a mini fridge in there.
I burst into my shared bathroom and grabbed some tissue for my nose. What was wrong with me? I was just glad it was Allie that walked in on that and not my mom. Or Spencer. Ugh. Stupid. I am definitely stupid. I was pretty sure being around Corvin was starting to erode my brain cells. I sat on the edge of the tub feeling like an idiot as I waited for the bleeding to stop and my face to cool down. Also, it's the first time in the bathroom. It's a very nice bathroom. And my heart to return to its normal rate. What even was that? Oh, man. I pressed my hands to my face, willing my cheeks back to their normal color. He was just teasing me. That's it. There was absolutely no meaning to that at all. No reason to get flustered. My still thunderous heartbeat definitely disagreed. It's just Corvin. Corvin. I buried my face in my hands. I am so screwed. It felt like a long, long time before I finally was ready to hazard a trip downstairs. Act natural. Just act natural. By the time I got back to the kitchen, Corvin was sitting at the table, chatting with Allie as if nothing had happened. So how did everything go?
Perfect! Everything is set. I can sleep in peace now.
Maybe I finally can as well.
As much as I'd love to stay, now that I've got that out of the way, I probably should go. I have a few other things to take care of before tomorrow.
Corvin stood as well.
Unfortunately, I do as well.
You literally just got here.
Well, I just wanted to make sure you weren't mad at me. Oh, are you two leaving already? You just got here.
Where did she come from? She's been watching. She'd probably been eavesdropping. Not that we'd said anything worrying in the last few minutes, but still.
Well, I've been here for a while.
But this is the first time you've ventured out of Nora's room the entire time. I groaned inwardly. Oh my god, now he's here?
Oh, are you Nora's brother? I think I've seen you around school. I'm Corvin.
Corvin jumped out of his chair and advanced on Spencer. Uh-oh. He held out his hand, and frankly, I was surprised Spencer didn't retreat to a corner and hiss at him like an angry cat. Instead, he shook hands cautiously. You're the president of that paranormal club, aren't you?
Yeah. You knew about that. Even Nora didn't.
That's because Spencer pays attention and has been investigating everything that his sister's involved in. I heard someone mention it. He went to the refrigerator and glanced over his shoulder as he reached in for something to drink. What do you even do in there? I've stopped by a few times, but there's never anyone there, even after school. He is a normie. Allie and I shared a look.
Sometimes we meet in other places, or go to the library for research. Plus, with so many cool places around the town, I try to get everyone out in the field occasionally, too.
That was a very smooth cover-up. He didn't even bat an eye when he said that. It wasn't exactly a lie. It wasn't really the truth either, though. He was pretty good at making up cover stories on the fly. I mean, he's probably had to cover for this club for a while now, so I'm sure he's used to it. It's weird that it happens to be every time I decide to stop by.
Yeah, that's a pretty weird coincidence.
He gasped as if he just had an epiphany.
Maybe we should look into that. Those kinds of coincidences can be paranormal in nature, you know. Are you interested in joining the club? I could interview you.
He was such a natural airhead that it didn't even sound that weird coming from him. Wait, did he just invite Spencer to join the club? I've thought about it, actually. No! No. It's the one place where I don't have to put up with you being all crotchety at me. You are so not joining.
Nora!
No, it's true. Besides, if I'm not mistaken, he won't have time to join any clubs for at least a month due to his recently acquired after-school obligations. Spencer glared at me, but Mom just nodded.
Well, that's true. Though I would like to see your brother join a club, and for you two to make up.
Yes, well, I still haven't heard an apology, so... I shot Allie a pleading look. Come on, help me out here. We needed a subject change, and I needed to get Corvin into private so I could strangle him. Until we figured out whether he was normal or not, Corvin really shouldn't be dangling the club in front of him like that. I think he had a plan, Nora. He was so suspicious that he'd jump on it without thinking twice.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I really do need to head out.
Me too, unfortunately. It was really nice to meet you, Spencer.
I'll show you two out then. Corvin waved to Spencer on the way out of the kitchen. Mom followed us to the foyer.
I hate to see you leave so soon. You too, Corvin. Nora never has boys over.
I'll definitely be back to visit soon, though.
She gave my mom a quick hug.
I'm really glad you're back. I missed all of you.
Corvin immediately followed up by hugging my mom as well. I knew it. Why does he always have to do things like that?
Well, I'm glad you're here too.
I pushed him toward the door. Okay, that is enough. I already talked to you about that. Fortunately, Mom was just utterly amused by his antics. I had a feeling I wasn't going to hear the end of any of it. Not for a long time. Look, he made a good impression on your mom. That's like half the battle.
I hope you both come back soon. It was nice to meet you, Corvin.
She left us there and went back into the kitchen with Spencer. As soon as she was gone, I grabbed Corvin's coat and yanked him close. Do not invite him to the club!
I was just trying to sound him out of it.
Don't sound him out! Don't look at him! Don't talk to him! He's already suspicious of everything I do without you encouraging him to pay even more attention to me.
Nora is a staunch believer that if we just pretend he's not there, he won't notice us.
Corvin poked my forehead and gently pried my hand off his coat, giving it a squeeze. Deserved.
You worry too much. We've dealt with suspicious people before.
Stop poking me!
But you make the cutest angry faces when I do.
He grinned and sidled out the door before I could smack him for that.
But he's right. Just leave Spencer to us. We're planning to take care of him next week.
Don't make it sound like we're planning an assassination. She laughed as she stepped outside. Corvin lingered nearby for just a moment, turning back to give me a serious look.
Be careful tomorrow, okay?
Corvin was not good for my blood pressure. I will.
Don't forget that thing I gave you.
I won't. I waved at them both and finally shut the door. I rested my head against it and let out a long sigh. Somehow everything that happened these days was just utterly exhausting. I blamed Corvin. It wasn't until much later that evening that I realized I had completely forgotten to mention the Brenna thing to Allie. I'd have to try to remember the next time I was able to talk to her. Alright. Chapter 6. The Night of Samhain. The time has arrived. Halloween arrived without much fanfare. I didn't awake to specters lurking in my room or beating down my window to get in to eat me. It was just a normal morning. I rubbed my eyes and climbed out of bed, still trying to shake off the final throes of sleep. It wasn't until the cold air hit my skin that I really noticed the faint thrum of energy in the air. It was hard to put into words exactly what it was like, but I imagined it was how one might feel standing close to a really strong electromagnetic field or something. There was a sort of vibration in the air, something I could definitely feel and could almost hear. My skin felt strangely tingly, and every hair stood on end as I rubbed my arms to rid myself of the feeling of ants crawling over me. When I peeked out the window, everything looked totally normal. No openly unnatural goings-on as far as I could see. Then again, it apparently wasn't until sundown that things got a bit intense. I was going to reserve judgment until then. That feeling, though, was definitely new. Is it going to be like this all day? If it was, I might go a bit mad before it was all over. That unhappy thought in mind, I quickly got dressed and went to my desk to find my journal. Oh, and we wrote in it too. Alright, what did we write? That's done. Still a bunch of that's empty. Let's see, that's changelings. Wards. I think we've read this before. Ori, miasma, liminal spaces. I don't see anything different. I remember reading about Samhain before. Is that in case I hadn't read about it? Am I dumb? And not noticing? Probably the latter. If this kind of thing happened multiple times per year, I wanted to track exactly what happened so I would be more prepared next time. Not that I thought there was much I could do to prepare for annoying skin tingle. I looked up from my writing and frowned at the door, wondering if I could pretend I was still asleep, but it opened before I could respond anyway. Spencer stepped inside.
Nora, Mom wants you to come down for breakfast.
He worded that nicer than usual. Tell her I'll be down in a minute. He took a step closer, frowning at me.
What are you doing?
Just writing myself a note so I don't forget something. Which wasn't a complete lie. Spencer scowled down at my notebook. His frown deepened as he took a step closer, eyes narrowing.
What is...
I flipped the journal shut and glared up at him. Do you mind?
What was that?
None of your business. Can you please go away? I'll be down in a minute. He gave me a long, serious look before turning on his heel and leaving. Did he see that? No. He definitely saw it. I drummed my fingers on the notebook anxiously. I was pretty sure he didn't remember our little language. At least he told me that he didn't, and I'd believed him at the time. Too late to worry about it now. I just have to make sure to keep it out of sight going forward. I put the journal in the desk drawer and started downstairs for breakfast.
Good morning, honey. Happy Halloween.
I made a disinterested noise as I poured myself some coffee and grabbed a plate of bacon and eggs.
Do you have any plans for tonight?
No, of course not. Would you even let me go out if I wanted to?
Well, I thought you might have made plans with that cute boy, Corvin.
I glared at her.
What? You like him, don't you?
She leaned on the counter and grinned at me.
He's really cute.
Wait, who is?
Hi, Dad. It's been a hot minute since we've seen you. No one. He's a flirty airhead who can't walk 2 steps without hurting himself. What's to like? All of that. She just smiled wider at me. I felt my cheeks go warm under her scrutiny and tried to focus on my coffee.
You definitely like him.
Well, I mean, there's only one correct option. Maybe I do?
Wait, what? Who do you like?
The level of panic in his voice was almost amusing. Almost. Don't read too much into that. We're just friends. We go to the same club, that's it.
But he obviously likes you too.
Dad stood up suddenly and gripped me tightly by the shoulders.
Who is this person?
Oh, Lord. We're just classmates. Mom leaned against Dad's shoulder, grinning at us both.
And that's why he rushed over the moment he thought you were mad at him.
What? When? Where was I?
Far away, thankfully. I have been wondering what happened to you, Dad. You're so busy. I shrugged Dad's hands off my arms and sidled away from him. He looked distressingly upset. Again, don't read too much into it. That's just how Corvin is. Mom reached over to pat my cheek gently.
It's okay to like a boy, Nora. It's okay to date people. That's what high school girls do.
It's definitely not okay.
I don't have to date someone to be happy.
Courtney, listen to your daughter. She is wise beyond her years.
Oh, for God's sake, Shane! Calm down. She's not a little girl anymore.
Dad muttered something to himself and snatched a slice of bacon off his plate, biting into it angrily. Accurate. I suppressed a laugh at his pouting.
And of course you don't have to date to be happy. I just would love to see you go on dates and go to parties. You've spent the last few years barely going out at all. You and Spencer both. I worry about you.
There's nothing to worry about just because I don't have a boyfriend. I can't speak for Spencer, but I'm perfectly happy with the way things are. And if there's ever anyone I want to date, I will. Even if it gives Dad an aneurysm. He glared at me from the table, but I just smirked at him.
Well, for the record, I think Corvin seems like a very nice young man.
I will bear in mind that he has your approval.
He doesn't have mine yet.
I couldn't decide if a meeting between those two would be hilariously worth it or just headache-inducing. I think Corvin could win Dad over pretty quickly.
Well, if you're staying home tonight, maybe you should try to throw together a quick costume. It would be a shame to hand out candy without dressing up.
Ugh, no thanks.
Party pooper.
Yeah. She left the kitchen and I just rolled my eyes after her. I couldn't believe she was really going to make me do the whole candy thing. I didn't know why she got such a kick out of it.
So, about this Corvin guy.
Nope. I fled back to the stairs.
I'm just going to ask Spencer if you won't tell me.
I was laughing when I finally retreated back to my room. Dad worried way too much. Still, thinking about what Mom had said, it wasn't that I'd never wanted to date someone, it was just... Well, I guess Corvin wasn't the only one who had trouble getting close to people. Oh god, I just had a horrible thought. What if he comes around to trick-or-treat tonight? Oh no. I've got visions. I picked my phone up off my desk, noticing the drawer with my journal was still open. I thought I shut that. I quickly shut it and checked my phone. One text.
Hey, Nora. Wanted to check in and see how you were doing today.
Everything's fine here. Nothing to report. You okay too?
No problems here.
I carried my phone over to the window to peek outside. Everything still looked the same. The trees in the empty lot across the street swayed gently in the breeze. Everything was sunny and looked appropriately October-y. There was some movement in the tall grass, and I could just make out a white, lanky shape hopping around there. Someone's dog? It was too far away to see it well, but every few minutes it would pop its head up and look around before going back to jumping in the grass. Somehow I got an uncomfortable feeling watching it. I let the curtain fall back into place and stepped away from the window. I might just be on edge from the weird energy in the air. Yeah. Or from everything that's happened recently. I grabbed a sketchbook and flopped onto my bed, deciding to draw for a while to get my mind off it. The day passed entirely without incident, but that tingly energy definitely began to slowly increase toward nightfall. As the sun headed toward the horizon, the tingling sensation got stronger and stronger. But if that was the only thing I had to deal with, then it would be fine, and it seemed like it would be. Allie's wards were either working or everyone had overreacted about all the danger. But then sundown hadn't arrived yet, and it was maybe an hour before that when Mom called me downstairs.
Nora, can you come downstairs to help?
I didn't even try to argue this time. I trudged down to help with the inevitably tedious job of handing out candy to an assortment of witches, ghouls, goblins, and superheroes in cheap costumes.
You're not even making an attempt at a costume.
Nope.
You're such a Scrooge.
That's for Christmas.
Well, I'm pleased to see you're getting a head start.
You know me, I like to be prepared.
Just hand the candy out. Your father is in the kitchen making punch, and I need to make sure it stays alcohol-free.
My underage brother and I thank you. I was going to point out that I highly doubted anyone still even did the door-to-door thing when the doorbell rang, absolutely obliterating my main argument. Is that, like, not a big thing where you are? Because it's all over the place here. There's, like, groups and groups and groups of kids every Halloween. As she disappeared into the kitchen, I grumbled under my breath and went to face the gaggle of colorful kids staring up at me from an assortment of masks and sparkly head accessories. A few anxious moms were hanging back at the bottom of the steps, watching me put a piece of chocolate into each grinning pumpkin. I resisted the urge to dump the entire bowl in a single pumpkin, but only because I knew Mom had more anyway. It was a genuine shock that, with all the major events at shopping centers around town, our neighborhood still was this old school. It was annoying, but I don't know. There was a tinge of nostalgia as well. Not enough to make me enjoy it, but I remembered how much fun it had been as a kid. I guess it won't hurt to help Mom out for a while. As the first group skittered down the porch, another one walked up. It amazed me how creative some Halloween costumes were these days, even for children. Wait, is that even... That isn't a costume. Make sure you give it a treat then, definitely. It's the dream. The last kid in the group was lagging behind the others a bit. I thought it was a weird costume, but quickly realized there was something actually sitting on his shoulders. Shock rooted me to the spot, and it took a moment to realize the other kids were waiting on me. I quickly dropped something in each bucket, trying to keep an eye on that thing, without making eye contact. Is that what I think it is? I could see it more clearly this time, but... If it was Kara's dream, then what was it doing on that kid's shoulders? No one else paid any attention to it, of course. Yeah, I wish I couldn't see it either. It was staring right at me. Every time I reached through the door to give out the candy, I knew that at least part of me was leaving the sanctity of Allie's barrier. It was terrifying, but not as terrifying as wondering what it was doing to the child it had attached itself to. Was it going to possess him? I thought Ori went after their hosts, not random people. Then again, that one had attacked me. A cold chill went through me. Wait. That thing isn't here because of me, is it? Because of that thing that happened at school? When I got to the last child in the lineup, I took a deep breath and quickly reached across the threshold to drop the chocolate in his bucket before yanking my arm back to safety. It took every bit of willpower I had to not jump back and scream when the thing reached a hand out toward the door. Toward me. I don't know if it was the barrier or if it just changed its mind, but it withdrew its hand and the kids soon retreated back down the walk, taking the creature with them. I started to shut the door, but chanced one last look. It had turned its head all the way around in a spooky owl-like fashion. That's not concerning. We made eye contact, and I half expected it to jump off the kid and come loping back up the sidewalk to the house, but it just stared at me until the kids were beyond the edge of the fence. I shut the door, letting the shivering take over. I wanted to go get that pouch Allie left on my table. I need to call someone. Corvin. I needed to call Corvin. I set the bowl down with shaking hands and was just about to get my phone when the doorbell rang again. Please be Corvin? I didn't want to open it, but Mom would kill me if I left kids waiting. I took a deep breath and peeked outside. To find Corvin and Danny standing there. Relief flooded me. How does Corvin always manage to show up right when I need him? Oh, look at your cute new scarf. I like it. Looks good. Very, very nice. I yanked the door open without a second thought, doing my best to play it cool. Although, is that your dressing up as putting on a new scarf? Well, I'm not gonna do really Corvin. I like this one because it's a joke. I could have hugged Corvin at this point. I was so relieved to see him, but I had to play it cool. Because there was no way I was throwing myself at him with Danny there. If Danny wasn't there... I took a deep breath. You two are the tallest third graders I've ever seen. I glanced in my bowl of treats. Do you like milk or dark chocolate?
What? Really? You're not going to say anything about my costume?
I mean, I could have insulted it. Literally the only thing different is the scarf.
It counts.
Yeah, okay.
You're really no fun at all sometimes. That said, I was kind of hoping you'd be wearing a cute little pixie costume.
I started to shut the door with my foot.
Wait! I just thought you'd look good in a miniskirt.
Not helping. I started to shut the door faster. Danny put his hand up to stop me too. Traitor.
Anyway, since we were checking out this street, we thought we'd at least stop by to make sure everything was fine here.
Perfectly. Nothing unusual, except that dream thing that reached its hand out towards my face. Oh, there we go. Thank goodness you're actually gonna say. Except the weird, creepy thing that I just saw on some kid's shoulder and that may have tried to get in the house a few minutes ago.
What?
I think it was the, Ori from earlier this week. Corvin looked visibly concerned at that.
It was here.
Yeah.
What Ori is this?
Oh shoot! I forgot I wasn't supposed to say anything.
Just one that's been lurking around for a while. One of yours.
No! No! Not mine.
Then why is it coming here?
Corvin frowned but didn't answer. I'm apparently the source of its displeasure.
You said it tried to get in. Are you okay?
Well, yeah. I mean, with the wards Allie set up, it's not like it could get far.
But it probably scared you.
I'm not going to lie. It was unsettling. But I'm fine. I was literally about to call you. But, well, here you are.
I guess we have good timing then.
I'm more worried about that kid it was sitting on.
It probably was just trying to hitch a ride.
To my house. He bit his lip and looked away.
Danny, you should probably find Elliot and stick with him for the rest of the night. It looks like I'm going to be busy.
Danny looked from me to Corvin carefully, then sighed and pulled out his phone.
Not a problem. We were planning to meet up with him anyway.
He stepped off the porch, apparently sending a text to Elliot. I used the opportunity to grab Corvin's arm. What is going on? Why is that thing showing up at my house? I know you know. At school. I know it wasn't just a coincidence that you asked me to help you that day. Did you know it was going to attack me? Did you know it was going to follow me home? Corvin grabbed me by the shoulders and gave me a serious look.
I didn't know it was already stalking your house.
Already? So you did expect it to come here?
Just be sure you don't leave your house this evening.
That's it. No answers.
I'm sorry. I can't.
He released me and stepped away. So he wasn't going to tell me anything. I was the one in danger and I didn't get a single answer. I don't know, I feel like he would if he could. By this point, but... I watched him step off the porch feeling both worried and frustrated. I still love you, though. Ugh. I quickly followed him, grabbing his sleeve before he got more than a few steps from the porch.
Nora, I literally just said not to leave the house.
Corvin, please be careful out there. I mean, I'm irritated at you right now. Don't think I'm not. I know something more is going on than what you're telling me.
Nora.
But be careful. Fighting that thing didn't go so well last time.
You're worried about me.
Of course I am! Don't act like it's a huge shock, jeez.
I'll be careful.
And you're off the hook for now. But you owe me an explanation about all this. Don't think I'm going to let you forget that. Corvin just smiled. That same slightly sad smile that reared its head sometimes.
I'll look forward to it.
That isn't something you look forward to. Jeez. Corvin suddenly pulled me into a hug. My face heated up as it pressed into his scarf.
Thank you. I'll be careful.
Yeah. Well, you better. I returned the hug briefly before pulling away. Okay, I'm going back to hide in my fortress again.
I'll see you later.
Yeah. Danny! He looked up from where he was standing near the end of the driveway. I waved. Tell Elliot I said hi!
I will!
I left them there and went back inside.